business inside and out.
For those of you who aren't familiar with FlipMan, this is the OG of YouTube when it comes to wholesaling houses. This guy's been doing it since 2009. So while we were in Birmingham, Ty spoke, and Pace and I turned into a couple of little fanboys, and we rushed Ty. And you know, Ty's not really interested in like having a conversation with us, so we really had to be like, "Hey man, how's it going, Ty? You said ask FlipMan, we're gonna ask you, want to be our friend?" And so it was like that kind of situation. We've sparked a friendship with Ty, and he's been hanging out with us. We hung out with Ty in Atlanta, and he came to buy and sell some houses with us, and it's been awesome, man. So that's how we met Ty. Ty came out here to Phoenix to hang with us and chill and just see what the vibe is.
When Jamil was running the AstroFlip, everybody knows what AstroFlip is, I assume. You guys know their coaching program. When he was running the sales floor, he was taking all the calls so that he could record those calls and then take those calls, and his sales team could be trained so he could disconnect from that sales floor. When he was doing all the sales calls, he was conflicted with competition, obviously. People calling and saying, well, I'm debating whether I go with Brent Daniels' coaching program, I'm conflicting whether I go with Tom Kroll's program, and more often than anybody else, he would run into, I'm conflicted because I'm learning everything from Ask FlipMan on YouTube. And this would come up all the time, months and months. How much did you debate, or not debate, but how much did you run into people that knew Ask FlipMan when you're trying to sell AstroFlip?
50% of the people? 50%.
So he's got a really big following. He's done an incredible job at YouTube, and I know there's a lot of people in this room that are trying to build their YouTube channels, including myself. So he's a guy that understands the back end, he understands the monetization of YouTube, he understands where you shouldn't monetize, he understands how to grow it, and what happens once you reach each individual level along the way to get to a point where I think you're at 80,000 subscribers right now.
74 something.
So 74,000 subscribers. He's a super humble guy. But I want to have him jump in for a little bit and let you guys ask him questions about YouTube. I'll jump onto that, but I want to start out with Flip talking about his YouTube and what he's doing in his world and how he can help everybody in here build their YouTube channels.
I'm glad the guys gave me an opportunity to come out when I mentioned it. So basically how all of that came about is I love the internet. I think it's just the most amazing thing because what it can do for you, I don't care what your interests are, a lot of bad stuff out there like with anything else, but so much good, is it allows someone to get into something that they probably really love or whatever, and where you're from, your race, your gender, religion won't matter because you technically don't have to be the face of anything. Now, for me, I'm an entrepreneur first, and how all of it came about for me was, and so in my downtime, which is I have a lot, you know, just my hobby time, I guess you want to call it, I found YouTube. And I was like, wow, you just put out videos and there's people can find this. So, but I wanted to put out information, exactly what I know about getting into real estate, purchase with no money, being able to do deals that way. And if someone wants to take advantage of that information and run with it, they can. My first video went up on that YouTube channel that I have now. It's August, I think 6 or 8, 2008 or whatever. And so from there, I just started educating myself about it. So the basis of my channel, I caught YouTube early. So some of it's that, and is that the amount of content that I put out that I guess has some value, it just took a life of its own. Now, initially I was just putting out content. So I started studying, you know, having the right titles, the right description, the tags, all of that stuff matters. Now over the years, YouTube algorithms have changed or whatever, but at the end of the day, it still just boils down to the frequency of content that you put out, and you follow those 3 or 4 core things. The title, which needs to be basically says what the video is related to the topic that someone would search for, the description and the tag. And just over the last couple of years, I realized how important the thumbnail is, right? And so that's why you'll see, you know, the little FlipMan guy and all that stuff, because it catches attention and it tells someone exactly what they're probably looking for. And so, and it never really paid anything, maybe a cell phone bill or something like that. And about 4 years ago, I just saw a spike from going to probably making maybe $600 or $700 a month to just jump to $2,000 a month, right? Wow, you know, so, and then the next month it was still another 2,000 again. Then it jumped to another number. It jumped to another number. And so you can gradually see how I guess I really had to start taking it more serious, because the video, audio quality, you know, if you go back to 2008 versus now, it's just totally different. And so, you know, that's basically how it all came about in a nutshell. Then we add on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all that stuff, but YouTube is the base of the audience that follows me. And, you know, so that's basically my backstory, how all of that came about. But just taking information that I knew about, that I was passionate about, that I had a degree of success in, and just compounding and just putting out content. And I was struggling for a moment to put out new content, because I figured I hadn't told everything, but no, this business is always evolving. And even though the guys, you know, they say all this stuff or whatever, I really became more fans of them than they know of what they probably think of me or whatever. Because I started listening to Pace talking about creative financing, and I basically have left millions on the table because I was being lazy. I didn't want to fool with it, but the number of leads that I've generated over the years that I've left on the table that I could have easily flipped them because it wasn't a wholesale deal, flipped them over to something that they would have been motivated enough to give me some terms, that even if I didn't want to keep the property, I could have still probably wholesale the transaction out. But just by following these guys, and then I didn't realize when I seen on Brett's show, it said 234 deals in 1 year. I'm like, wow, okay, let me watch this guy. And then so at the end of the show, he said it's Instagram. And when I went to the Instagram, and then I seen Jimmy, I said, whoa, I met these guys. You know, I remember both of them were in black right here in Birmingham, and so that's when I reached out to Pace. It was like 2 in the morning, so I didn't expect to hear from him until the next morning. He replied right back. And so we just started having a conversation, you know, in the middle of the night. And I was like, well, man, you want to do an interview on my channel or whatever? He's like, yeah. So like, was it the day before or the day of? Me and him said, yeah, the Pace is going to be in the channel. You know, I'm going to be on there too. So that's how the video that we put out about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I said, man, I'm going to come out with, when can I come out? And Jamil was like, well, we got to go to this place, but you can come out this week here. And I texted him back because I booked the flight. So here I am. So that's my story.
That's awesome. What would you say is the biggest benefit of you personally? I know this is the Go-Giver group, but what is the biggest benefit of you personally having that YouTube channel? What is it bringing you financially?
Well, I didn't say this. I missed the part of why I started the channel. Is that I started for a couple of reasons, right? Number one, it was a hobby, right? And I was feeding my hobby, or whatever, just internet and all that comes with it. And I'm a little techie, I guess, so probably a little above average. The other thing is that I said, what if I put out enough free content that I'm an introvert just by nature. I don't know if you can notice it or not, but and what if I put out enough free content that people will reach out to me, right? And we can do deals all over the country. That's key, you know, but I didn't have the wherewithal to put something like that together. I just knew when I started doing those videos that it was going to allow me to network with individuals. I didn't know I would probably do something like this by no means, but that's, you know, like my mom, she always trips. Like, we have something at church and all my friends that I grew up with, same age as me, they may get up and speak and stuff, and she'll look back at me. I'm just like this. I know, you know, I'm not gonna say anything or whatever. So But so that was part of it, is me being able to have a network of like-minded individuals. And I was thinking more on the commercial side, which I still am pursuing that, or whatever, more so than the residential, that I can have people in every major market that I can just say, hey, I got this property, I need you to go ride, blah, 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 what are your thoughts on it? And we would just partner up. But as far as what it's benefited me for financially, if I didn't want to, if I didn't have deals, I guess you would say, that was part of my financial monthly income, I couldn't live off of it, comfortably. I guess you could say that, or whatever. Just to answer the question. I'm assuming that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, they want to know why did somebody create a YouTube channel, and I think you turned off the monetization on YouTube, didn't you?
Yeah, the monetization on YouTube, if you understand it, and like you'll see a video with 30 million views on it. All right. Now, if you have that particular video monetized, just look at it in terms of the way it was explained to me, and some numbers are going to be a little high depending on the content. But if just some type of comedy or entertainment or music, it's probably going to be like $1 per 1,000. Because a lot of it depends on how much I'm involved in on day-to-day activities, trying to do deals or whatever, because I do all that stuff myself. It's just hard for me to turn it over to someone. The editing is the part that's tough. You know what I'm saying? I spent, just to answer your question, but a video that I put out about 3 weeks ago, top 10 ways to use real estate too, and that's like the dig, this survey at digitlater.com, which I'm a reseller, a prop streamer, and just feeds it through there or whatever. I spent 8 hours editing that video, because it's an hour-long video or whatever, and so, that's taxing or whatever. And again, I do enjoy it, but the editing part I really don't enjoy, because you have to think through whenever you record a video. But to answer your question, I stopped putting out content. I would go 2 months at a time without putting out anything. And it started affecting my numbers as far as watch time, the number of views, which the biggest thing on YouTube is watch time. Because they want people to be stuck on their actual platform or whatever. So I said, wow, wow, I got to change it, because it basically went in half or whatever as far as my time. So, but to answer your question about content, so I made an effort to start doing at least one video a week outside of the live FlipMan on Thursdays. I want to get up to 2 a week or whatever, because it's all about putting out that content and getting that watch time, your total watch time. But you never know which video is going to pop or whatever. You never know which video is going to pop. Some of the videos that I have 70, 80,000 views on it, I'm like surprised on, the quality of it is horrible. It's probably when I wasn't doing good tags or titles or whatever. It's just amazing which ones are popular, which ones won't, whatever.
How has just putting out free content out there helped your information business?
Like I said, I took a little different approach than most, not everyone, but most, is that it builds credibility, right? And I have to catch myself sometimes when someone says this is a scam. I take that personally. Like, man, what do you want me to do? I have just example after example after example of people, because most of the testimonials that I'll record, someone like that sent me a picture of the checker owner guy asking do they want to come on and explain their story. Because a lot of times I learn something. I don't know what anyone else is doing. I'm learning something because I don't know everything or whatever. But most of the testimonials that I have are people that never paid me.
That's awesome.
You see what I'm saying?
I love that.
So, so when someone says this is, especially if it's directed to me, and I have to watch myself, because you get a lot of comments, people you guys gonna have fools out there or whatever. But there's trolls, there's what's going on in their life or whatever. So, but they just the information side of it, being able to put out the content.
So Ty, do you have somebody behind the scenes running your responses on YouTube? So for example, somebody's problem with how many videos you have right now, somebody somewhere is watching your videos, right? So they click on, do you have links in the description that send them to a website or a landing page?
No, man. Now, one of the people that I follow is Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V.
Yeah.
And, it's just simple, man. I wake up in the morning. I don't do this every morning. I started doing more recently now. Is that I'll wake up, because I'm normally wake up at 5, but I'm not out of bed. So I'm gonna wake up at 5, and I'll just start responding to messages that were posted on there. Because no one can answer them like me, you know, because I know a lot of times they may ask a question on a video that's 7 years old, and I'll say, I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember what I said. You know, so, you know, I'm not gonna go back and watch it because I hate watching myself or whatever. So, you know, depending on what the question is, but I answer everything myself.